Welcome to the Cop Tribunal. The session is now in order. Automatic gavel sound, intense gears cable sound. Welcome to the Cop Tribunal. The session is now in order. Cow guy, baby. Liverpool opinions are going on trial. Welcome to the Cop Tribunal. The session is now in order. Automatic gavel sound, intense kiss gavel sound.
Yes, people, how's it going? How's it going? Hope we are all doing well this lovely afternoon. If you just come from the stream, big up everyone. Please do smash the like button if you haven't already. Got some news to talk about, guys. Concert Arsenal is here we go. Believe it to Man United is in the works. Nico Gonzalez to Newcastle as well. We also got Julian Alvarez and some other little things to talk about. How's everyone doing in the chat? Hope you're doing well. Big up Christopher, big up GSC, big up Little Pipe, big up Ed Top Tier, big up Christopher again, big up Blood Clot, Josh aka Plump, Danny Aaron's in the building, big up. Who knows, maybe I'll have a glow up by Danny Aaron's, this camera. Maybe I'll glow up by Danny Aaron's. Big up Abdul, hope you're doing well. Big up my brother Ends, how are you doing, brother? Hope you're doing well, man. Let me know if you want the link as well, bro, but I'm sure you're busy. I know you're always busy. So big up, bro. But people, go check out Football with Ends if you haven't already. One of the best going around at the moment. This camera is really on my face today. But people, we'll start off with the Here We Go bomber. I spoke about the Curtis Jones stuff earlier as well, people. So go check that video out if you haven't. I don't know what's going on with my camera. 1 second, people. Like, I don't know if it's just like a situation of it's just I need to reset. One second. There we are. It looks much better now, much more in focus. We're going to start with the Ezri Konsa news, guys. So this is from Fabrizio Romano. Breaking: Arsenal agreed deal to sign Ezri Konsa from Aston Villa. Here we go. Fee agreed at 50 million plus add-ons and a long-term deal in place with English defender. Konsa will undergo his medical in the next 40 hours, then signing in at AFC follows the Athletic. And then obviously we got this from David Ornstein as well. I'll read this one out. Big up Jump Stats, sorry, apologies. Arsenal reached agreement with Aston Villa to sign Ezri Konsa, deal for 28-year-old defender worth 51 million plus add-ons. England international says goodbye to AFC teammates and staff today, set to take AFC medical Thursday. So obviously, big up Mons. I was watching their show earlier. They were discussing how big of a move this is for Arsenal. And to be honest, I think it's a very good move. I'm not Ezri Konsa's biggest fan, but if you were to say he's on that same level as maybe a Guehi or a Van Heck or a De Ligt, I think that's still a very good centre-back. I think he's probably going to be filling in that starting role along with Mosquera while he was out injured, and then will take a very prominent bench position once Saliba returns. 50 million plus add-ons. I assume taking it to about 60, 65 million in total, I think is a good move. Probably a little bit more expensive than I think he's worth, but we are in an inflated market. For Arsenal, I think this pushes them even further to be favourites for the Premier League title. The way I look at it, the landscape of the Premier League, outside of a couple of teams, if they get the right moves right and everything goes well, I see Arsenal probably running away with it again. Let me know what you guys think, of course, as I go along. Um, you look at Arsenal now, their defensive depth, and I'm not going to include Saliba because he's most likely out to the new year. But the defensive depth, as I'm aware of, and let me know if I forget anyone, is Gabriel, Konsa, Mascara, Calafiori, Ben White, Timber, and then Miles Lewis Skelly as a backup left back, and Hikapi as well. So very, very, very solid defensive depth. Big up Thunder Road says 55 watching, but only 10 likes. Chat, take a second and hit the thumbs up. People, please do smash the like button if you haven't already. And subscribe if you're new as well. We're on the road to 600 subscribers, so if we make it there, I would be super appreciative. Big up Shawnee says, and big up Shawnee as well. People, this is Don Hassam's editor, so kind of got a bit of a celebrity in my chat currently. Big up Shawnee says, yeah, let's just give up football, watch something else. Yeah, it's looking that way a little bit. I can't lie, it is. Arsenal look very strong. We still have Emerson for DM. He says he's tested United no problems. He also had interest from other Premier League clubs. I'm not a huge fan of Emerson, to be honest. I've watched a bit of Atalanta last season. He's a decent player. But if we signed him, I wouldn't be happy. I think he's an improvement of some of the players we've got, especially for the double pivot. I think he offers a different style of play. But for me, Manu is the player I would go with. I've made that clear on many different panels and on the show as well. But no, looking at Arsenal's squad, I think, and I said this on Dean's channel, big up Dean, because I got a bit heated on Dean's channel a minute ago, but that's just because I'm passionate, guys. I think we're all passionate about football. Look, I think I look at Arsenal, and I think they're probably clear favourites for the league. If all goes well and Liverpool click and we get Barcola and Mbai and Adam Wharton, I think we can challenge. I don't know if I see many scenarios where Arsenal don't win the league this season outside of a massive injury crisis or them just falling off. But they did look very good against City. I know a weakened City team, no Pep, and City looked awful. I'm not going to make an excuse of City. City did look awful. But you still have to score the goals. And to be honest, Donnarumma had a howler in that game. But Arsenal were clinical in front of goal. Probably could have scored more. Obviously, let me know what your guys' thoughts are on Ezri Konsa. For me, he probably sits between that 8 to 12 range in terms of centre-backs in the league. I look at, for me, clear 3 are Gabriel, Van Dijk, Saliba, and then you're looking at players like Ruben Diaz, who I think is still better than Konsa, even though I think he isn't amazing. Big up, Dean. Hope you're doing well. I just spoke to you. I know you're doing well, brother, but appreciate you for the redirect and, of course, for always showing me love. People, I know the majority of you are watching from Dean's channel, but if any of you are watching and you haven't seen Dean, aka Famzone TV, please go check him out. Absolute legend and a good friend of mine. Yeah, so I think, and I look at it, I'd probably say Kusanov is probably better. I like him at City. Chelsea, I mean, you can argue Colwill, but he probably sits anywhere from that 5 to. Sorry, I'm checking if there's any actual truth to the Wharton links. Probably sits anywhere from like 5 to 12. And from that range of centre backs, you can argue he's better or worse than any of them. For me, that's a huge improvement for Arsenal. Again, defensive solidity. Maybe they see Ben White potentially moving on, and Konsa's a player who can play centre back and right back to a higher level than Ben White. Big Cops here says we don't have no depth in any department with cover outside of midfield. I agree. Konsa is the middest of mids. Big up Ikea. Big up Daryl says Wharton stuff is real. I haven't seen anything to suggest it. I know it's a fake Fabrizio Romano account that tweeted out. Maybe I've missed something. Bill Russell says, no, it's not real. Okay. Edison will be cheaper there, and Wharton 45 to 50 mil. I'd probably, to be honest, in terms of what we need for our midfielder, I think Edison's profile suits us better, but I think Wharton's such a significantly better player than Wharton, or than Edison, apologies, that I'd probably still go get Wharton. If you said Wharton or Manu Kone, I'd take Manu Kone in a heartbeat. In my opinion. Yeah, big up Ikea. Jones is gone, so be weaker. I agree. Yeah, that's true. Fabrizio actually tweeted this about an hour ago. If I mean, let me double check because there's so many fake Fabrizio accounts at the moment. It's so annoying to try and keep track of. Yeah, I think it was a fake Fabrizio account, which is always awesome. These fake accounts actually need to it's so sad, isn't it? It is very sad how many fake accounts there are of Fabrizio Romano these days. People, the @ is at Fabrizio Romano. If it's anything different to that on the @ on Twitter, then don't believe it. Hang on. Yeah, no, nothing. Will we actually replace Jones? No, Nyoni will be the replacement for Jones. In my opinion, I see us bringing a midfielder if McAllister leaves. I hope we bring another midfielder in. I would, even without said McAllister. Hi, big up Natasha says, hi Josh, what is the latest? The latest in terms of Liverpool is came out reports from, let me double check this. The report is from Steele. Cola is desperate to be a Liverpool player. He's going all in to make the move possible. Obviously, that is Lewis Steele, so a journalist with a little bit of credibility. Big up Brad, actually put it in the chat. Goes, Bradley Barcola is desperate to join Liverpool, according to the sources. The Paris Saint-Germain and France forward is said to be all in on making this move happen, reports Lewis Steele. Now, Lewis Steele isn't the most super credible journalist out there. And it is pretty much just the same regurgitated stuff we've been hearing all summer. But big up my dad in the chat as well. People, please do like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, turn on the notification bell. And if you're watching after the stream, please do let me know what you think as well. Wow, this is we're okay. We're over 8 minutes in. I can say this. Diddy_lotion in the chat says Diddy party at 7. Everyone invited. People, you have your invitation. So make sure you show up if you want. Hope if when like that, I hope you're subscribed, because if you're coming in my chat and your name's Diddy Lotion and you're not subscribed, then you got problems, brother. The Wiki says day 234, Barcola willing to sell his car to fund the move. Yeah, it's just the same stuff. All the best to Jones. FSG are stingy fools. They don't want to pay the players what they're worth. Yeah, of course. Like I wish all the best for Jones. Was a good servant for the club. I understand him wanting more money. I also understand why the club wouldn't be willing to. Actually, no, I don't understand. I understand why the club would sell him with a year left on his deal. But I want to get back on track. I did a Liverpool show earlier today talking about the Jones stuff. So if you want to know my thoughts on the Curtis Jones situation, go and check that one out. I did that this morning, or early this afternoon, I should say. But going back to the Konsa guys, how much stronger do you guys think this makes Arsenal? Personally, I think it strengthens them a lot. I think it is a very good move, very good depth, and a good solid stopgap until Saliba's back, and then after that he can be a very good rotation option off the bench. Big up Brad says, I do think he's a win the move. It's too deep in now. It'll be like Isak, we signed him last week of the window. Fair enough. I don't know if we could convince him to stay. Big up Natasha says, Fozzie crashed out this morning. He was fed up that United have signed Baleba. Well, Natasha, I'll use that as a stepping stone to move on to the next topic, guys, which is David Ornstein and Fabrizio Romano both reported. I've only got the Ornstein tweet up here. Exclusive, Manchester United closing in on deal to sign Carlos Baleba from Brighton and Hove Albion. Man United offer the 22-year-old MUFC offer for 22-year-old Cameroon midfielder is 60 million plus 5, below Brighton valuation, but amicable talks continue as all parties work to reach agreement. Obviously, we know last summer that Man United had uh, pretty much ex- almost closed the deal with Brighton for Baleba. The player was trying to force the move. Obviously, a deal couldn't be reached before the end of the window. And with Baleba not having the best year, you've seen his valuation come down. I think that's why United have gone back in for him. Baleba's a very good player, very versatile, allows United to play in different ways. And to be honest, it's a very, very, very good move for United. If they get United and big up Russell, he brings it up, so I don't have to try and remember everyone. But it'll be Baleba, Tielemans, Mainu, Santos. Very good midfield. To big up Natasha says, but Josh Baleba is not that good, and for all the signings they're doing, they're not winning anything. I think Baleba's a very good player. I think he had an off year last year, but the year before he was one of the best midfielders in the league. I think what he offers is ball winning and tenacity, which they lacked with Tielemans and Kobe in the midfield. I think he's good on the ball, can progress the ball well, very aggressive, good at winning duels. I think he's a very good player. I think he had a poor season last year. And maybe it speaks to his attitude. That's not for me to decide. I don't know the facts. But he had a poor year last year, in my opinion, because he was mentally checked out. He'd almost accepted or resigned himself that he was moving to United. Got very excited for that. Tried to force the move, and when it didn't happen, I think he was probably left with a little bit of a sour taste in his mouth. Big up Ikea said, and that's a pause, by the way. I know people say pause. Hey yo, why for that? Apologies. I know I can't say anything about some people about mouths anymore without being a pause. Big up Ikea, or as Carl likes to call you, Aquia. I think I've called you Aquia as well, so I'll call you Ikea. Here he is, Mr. Ayo. And this is, I promise you, if I check the chat logs, Trudon's most commonly said phrase in my chat is Ayo. Compare our midfield to theirs. So our midfield currently is McAllister, Neone. Our midfield 4, because we'll do 4v4. Soboslai, Gravenberch, Neone, McAllister. Their midfield 4 is Baleba, Santos, Tielemans, Mainu. I think they've got a better midfield. I think Soboslai is the best out of all of them, whether they like that or not. I think Baleba and Gravenberch is similar. I think Tielemans and Santos are better than McAllister and Neone. So I think they win 2, we win 1, and we draw 1. So I'd give them the edge. But the best player in that midfield is Soboslai in the combined midfield. Verts to the question mark. I'm not including 10s. But if we include 10s, Bruno's better than Verts. Big up Daryl says Hughes is the worst thing to happen to our club. I mean, we can have that discussion. I think it's probably irrelevant regardless of who's the sporting director this season. I think most sporting directors have the same issue. The club don't want to give up the funds. And now you can sit there and say there's a lack of planning from Hughes, but no, we don't actually know, do we? Big up Russell says we need physicality. I agree. That's why I want Manu Kone. Our midfield has no defensive nous or noose. That's why I want Manu Kone. Tielemans was quality last season. He was one of the best midfielders in the league last season for a very good Villa side. Big up Brad says, forgot his name, but he plays for Stuttgart, German midfielder. Wouldn't mind him. Angelo Stiller, I believe, is the name you're talking about. He is a good player. I think for me, he lacks athleticism, but he is a very, very good deep line playmaker. We're not getting Kone. I know we're not getting Kone, and it hurts me that we're not getting Manu Kone because he's a very good player. But if we were serious, we'd go get Manu Kone. So they went to him by don't join Leverkusen to join us. Then they said we're not paying it. And so now we've annoyed PSG, Leverkusen, and the player is shambolic. Yeah. Big up ambient noises says, I like my players like I like my women rented. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, ambient, is I'm gonna give you a yellow. I'm gonna let you live for that one because it is quite funny. That is a very funny joke. But I also don't know if you can say that anymore. But big up ambient each and every time. Ibukia says Kamara is still a possibility, but knowing us will sign someone no one would think of. Shema Andres is still there. So we'll see. Richard Rios is an option still. I don't see us signing another midfielder, to be honest, guys, unless McAllister leaves. Also, let me. I feel like I'm talking quite quiet, but it's because I've got the mic very close to my mouth. So let me know what the volume's like, guys, please. If you want me to speak up or if I'm speaking too loud. I doubt I'm speaking too loud. Big up Mayo Killer. What a name. We have no Scousers in our team. Yeah, I know. We spoke about it on Dean's channel. Um, it's it's a shame. I do always want to have a Scouser in the team, but they have to be a Scouser that's good enough to play in the team. Quansa, Trent, Jones, all of them are left. Now, look, I'm not against the club selling Jones. I see why I'm not probably against it, but um, I'm not angry. That I understand why the club um, would sell him. He's got a year left on his deal. Apologies, I just got a message. Let me read these chats. Fabrice Hawkins hasn't said anything on it. Is this about Baleba or Mbai or Barcola? Please clarify, Dara. Yeah, that's the one. And if we almost likely get a random player in, if we get a midfielder, can see that happening. Yeah, it probably would be someone out of the blue. Would you take a punt on Andre from Wolves? We were linked with Andre before he went to Wolves, and he's been good for Wolves. To be fair, I've got a friend who is a Wolves fan, and he's a decent player. He likes him. I don't know if I would take a punt, but I'd replace Ender with Andre 100%. Big up Russell says, does Wharton really improve in the midfield when he isn't physical? Wirtz is the playmaker, and all it would do is mean Wirtz has to come back and defend more with a robust midfield. They can pass to Wirtz. I like Wharton. I think he's of such good quality that it does improve the squad, but he isn't the right profile for our midfield, in my opinion. Because his volume's good, appreciate that. Nah, he can say it. It's more on him, isn't it? Is that in reference to Jones? Let me know. We have no Scots. Yeah, both times we won the league, we had a Scot in the team. Obviously, both. Actually, I think whenever we won the league, we had a Scottish person in the team. We got Calvin Ramsey, who is Scottish, so that counts. But he might be going out on loan. But United said for 9 months they were going to do their best in class top tier 1 players, and they were so adamant on Elliot Anderson, but did not get him. I think Anderson chose City, and City were willing to pay more. And okay, yeah. Fabrice Hawkins hasn't mentioned anything about buy recently. Big up Yavnik says, Josh, are we signing anyone at this point? I still think we get Barcola. I'm still confident we get him buy over the line. Beyond that, I'm not too sure, to be honest with you, brother. Not too sure. Big up Mr. Mac with the tweet or the report from Anfield Sector says James McConnell's loan to Preston has been kiboshed. Kiboshed. It's a weird word. For now, at least, by Liverpool in the last days, despite regular game time being promised. Potentially hinting at James McConnell feeding more this season. Luke Chambers, it came out Luke Chambers isn't going on loan, so we might see Luke Chambers a bit this season as well. Bebeke Kia says, people overrating United, but to be fair, everyone thinks we're worse off than every other top 6 side. I think we have very good upside, and I think we have quite poor downside. It just depends on how the dice rolls this season for us. Hawkins not responded. Yeah, not yet. Big up, no lie. Ellie says, United and Arsenal getting Premier League proven players with physicality. Always a good thing to have. Always a good thing to have. Big up Natasha says, are you on it later, Josh? Potentially, I might join. I might see if Matt will have me on the transfer show at 6:15. If I'm not going to, I'll probably finish later than that. But if there's still one by the time we finish the show here, then I might see if I can join for that one. Big up Russell says, Water needs to be in a 3 with a DM and someone with legs next to him at Palace. The centre back came to the DM. I agree. I've said this all summer. If you had Manu, Kone, and Wharton in the double pivot, I think that's one of the best pivots in the world. Because you have the ball winning, aggressive, athletic player in Kone, and then you have the dictator in Wharton. I think that's probably the best double pivot in the world outside of Barca and PSG. Sarah J in the house. Big up Sarah J each and every time. Big up Ambient says, my opinion is Barcola and Mbai are coming in. Liverpool want the best buck for Gakpo. Worst thing you can do is announce incomings. That opens up a low ball in from Spurs. True. Spurs will know we have to sell Gakpo if we bring Barcola and then buy in. Because Gakpo's not going to want to sell on the bench, it could mean that we have to accept a lower offer come the end of the window. Baleba and Wharton. I think Baleba's pretty much nailed on now to go to Man United. Moving on as well, guys. Actually, let me ask this one, Queer. Someone brought up occasionally moving Xhaka up the DM and having a Araujo at centre back. Thoughts, Josh? I'm in a situation. I said this in the same situation with Rio on the right hand side. I want players playing in their best preferred position this season. We can experiment after that, but we're in a transition period. I think now is the time that we need stability. And then if we have a foundation, then we can experiment with one or two players in different positions. Big up Brad says, Josh, I've got to go. Keep up the grind on YouTube, loving the content. Big up Brad, appreciate that. I'm going to keep putting out the grind. This is my third video of the day? Second live stream of the day. Third video of the day, plus short. So it's going to work out to about 5 videos today, which is a lot, but I'm just trying to pump out as much content for you guys as possible. And if you are getting sick of my face, apologies. I know I'm everywhere at the moment, but I'm just having a lot of fun talking football with you guys. So as long as you guys are enjoying the content, I'm going to keep putting it out. Going to move on to the Nico Gonzalez news, guys. Obviously, Newcastle have probably had a summer from hell, I should say. But David Ornstein given them a little bit of a glimmer of hope. Newcastle United in talks in Manchester City over a potential deal to sign Nico Gonzalez. Move for MCFC midfielder not yet advanced, but Newcastle working to strengthen and 24-year-old among various options. Exploratory dialogue taking place over. All right, so Nico Gonzalez signed a year and a half ago, I believe, from Man City from Porto, if I'm not mistaken, whilst Rodri was out with the ACL injury. He's had a bit of an up and down career at Man City. He has some very good moments, had some poor moments. I think it's a good signing for Newcastle if they get it over the line. Obviously, Joe Linton is looking for outs. And I think he's injured currently. Bruno Guimaraes has left. Tonali's left. So they're left currently. And they signed that young French midfielder. I can't remember his name. I think it's a good signing. If you're looking in the region of 50 to 60 million for him, I think he's a good player with very good upside. I think it adds a lot to Newcastle, especially in the situation they're in with their squad. So I think it's a good signing. Would I consider hijacking it? Yeah, you're absolutely right. I would. But that's just because I don't like Newcastle and I think we need a ball winner. I think Nico Gonzalez has very good properties, very good passing range, is a good ball progressor, can win the ball. Physicality is there, but his athleticism and pace probably isn't where I would like it to be for a 6. But again, Fabinho, it wasn't very quick, and we know how good he was. It's the IQ really for a 6. That's what makes them special. If you are smart enough to know where to be, to put the fires out before they happen, then you have a very good 6 on your hands. That's what made Fabinho so good. Defensively, at least, he knew where to position himself. He knew where to be. And that made up for the lack of athleticism. Let me read some of your guys' chats. So Big Up Mayo says, Big Up Josh, would you take Johnny Cardoso? Probably not. I think he's a different kind of profile. I think he's a good player. I think Atletico are bastards to try to deal with. But if we sign him, I wouldn't be mad at it. I'd take Nico Gonzalez. I'd take him as well. They got Bamba, who's a good physical midfielder from AS Monaco, and Miley brothers. Yeah, Lewis Miley. I feel it's been weird. I haven't heard Lewis Miley's name mentioned a whole lot recently, whether that's due to injury or whatnot. I'm not too sure what's going on with him, but I think he's still a very good talent. Big Up Akia says, let's do another Newcastle hijacked. Yeah, I promise you, I would come on out. I would die with laughter. Big Up Russell says, why is he not physical enough? Or why he is not physical enough, responding to Akia. And then Akia replies, I saw him last season filling in for Rodri. He is physical enough. Fair enough. I think he is probably physical enough for the Premier League. Big up Russell says we need a Kante and a Vieira. I think if any team had a Kante and a Vieira, they're off to a great start. I don't know how many of them there are, unfortunately. Big up Cotfather. Hope you're doing well, brother. Big up IKEA says, brother, I'm sure there's better options than Nico G, but I'm not picky right now. True. Like Manu Kone is my first choice. I'm going to keep saying Manu Kone to A, he signs a new contract, or B, the window shuts, or C, someone signs him, or D, we sign him. Then Verts can cook and be protected. Yeah, look, we can talk about Verts if you want. I think having a ball winning midfielder allows Verts to cook because there's less defensive pressure on him potentially. But we'll see. Big up Robble LFC says, are you confident with this squad? It depends what your expectations are. Am I confident we can get top 5 with this squad? Yes. Am I confident we can win the Premier League with this squad? No. Am I confident we can make any steep cup runs with this squad? No. Do I think over 2 legs we could beat any team? Probably. Especially with the first 11. Like if you told me we played Barca, I think we could beat Barca. I think Barca are the favourites and I think Barca beat us, but I think there's a chance we beat Barca. I think our starting 11 is good enough. PSG is probably the only one where I probably don't think we can beat. But then again, who knows? Maybe Areola is the second coming of Christ, and we play like Barcelona. I hope so. Big up MKTOH or MKTO, however you pronounce your name, brother. Please do let me know if I'm saying it wrong. If Araujo plays centre back, Xhaka at DM could be an option. We spoke about it briefly earlier. I said I'm at a position with the squad in transition where I want players playing in their primary positions. If we're at an emergency crisis, like Gravenberch is injured, Neoni's injured, McAllister's is injured, and Xhaka is the only choice for DM, then I'm sure we can run it. But we'll see. Big up Abdul says LFC transfer room saying Liverpool want Trey and James McConnell to play bigger roles. Now Jones has left. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier when it came through that James McConnell wasn't going to loan. I said he's going to play a bigger role. Big up MK. Big up Jay says Joelinton just been made vice captain, so not looking to leave. Trent was made vice captain. He left the same summer. I hope for your guys' sake he doesn't leave. I actually don't hate Newcastle. I think it's dark for you guys if Joelinton leaves. But there's situations where they try give him the vice captaincy to convince him to stay and he still wants out. It's happened before with other players. I could be wrong, but I know he's injured for the first game of the season from what I've heard. So it's not really, after that, I don't really care what happens with you guys, I'm going to be totally honest. Big up. James McConnell loan is off. Yeah, it came out earlier. The loan is off. Can we buy Joelinton then low? I think Joelinton's a good player, but he's 30. And I think Newcastle would want a high fee for him. I think he's a decent player. To be honest, I think he gets overhyped a little bit because of how physical he is. I think technically he isn't anything special. Big up Jay says he's been awful last 12 months, won't play much next season. Fair enough. I mean, if you get Nico Gonzalez, I think that's a very good option for you, brother. Obviously, I know you guys have had a pretty awful summer, so can't believe how unready the squad is. Yeah, we can have that conversation. I think there's definitely aspects of the squad that's unready. I think the first 11 is very good, especially if you're including Barcola in that. But maybe that's a discussion for a different day. Big up Akia says, if Joe was on a free, I'd take him. Fair. Another thing I want to talk about as well, guys, because we spoke about, actually we didn't speak about the ramifications of the Konsa deal for Villa. Villa have been torn apart this summer. Big up Jamie. Jamie sent a list in the group chat of the players Villa have lost. Morgan Rogers to Chelsea, Tielemans to United, Marlon to Roma, Konsa to Arsenal, Luca Digne to PSG, and of course, good segue on, potentially Ollie Watkins to Villa, not to Villa, to Al Hilal, apologies. Now, Al Hilal have just lost Darwin Nunez to Al Devray. Not that he was in their plans to stay next season, he was a free transfer, but they do want a backup striker or potentially someone to play alongside Mitrovic. David Ornstein reported Aston Villa to reject formal bid from Al Hilal for Ollie Watkins. Proposal to sign 30-year-old striker worth €45 million package will be turned down by Aston Villa, but Al Hilal pursuit of England international ongoing. So if Villa lose all them players and Ollie Watkins, I rate Unai Emery very high, but it's hard to see Villa staying in the top 5. They've lost all them players. They've brought in Johan Manzambi, who is a very good player who I rate very highly. They've brought in Garnacho, which I think is I'm not going to hate on Garnacho, even though they play for United, so I could. I think he's shit. If you want my honest answer, I think he stinks. Let me have a look who else they've brought in. They brought in Ruggeri from Atletico Madrid. So they've replaced what's his name? What's his face? Digne with the Ruggeri. They've obviously signed Zuki from Parma, so that's a good keeper for them. With it looking like Emi Martinez is out the door. They've signed João Gomez. So they have replaced areas of the squad. It's not all doom and gloom for Villa, but like you said, you look at it. Amadou Onana's out for probably the whole season. Marlon's gone. Tielemans, Morgan Rogers, Digne, like very good players gone. So it's hard to see Villa potentially being as good as they are last season. I think they can probably still finish top 7. I assume they still will get Europe. João Gomez is a very good signing. Garnacho, I think, is an awful signing, and thank God it's only a loan. But I think it's a loan with like a very like mandatory to buy with very easy clauses to reach the mandatory buy. What's this? Ruggeri's a good left back option or left wing back option. Suzuki keeper. Whether you think he's an improvement on Martinez. Johan Manzambi is a very good player. I really liked him at Freiburg. Had a good World Cup for Switzerland. Let me read some of these chats and then we'll talk on the Ollie Watkins stuff. Big up Abdul says we can't play our players out of position. It's a controlled system. Look what happened last season. I agree. Bill MK says, Abdul, not to worry. There already is more flexibility, more to come, I believe. I hope you're right. Godfather says, we're at full capacity, Josh. Someone has to be sold to bring in Barcola. I assume, if it was up to me, it'd be Endo, Chiesa, and I mean, if Luke Chambers is ready to take that step, then so Simicast and promote Luke Chambers to be backup left back. Gakpo will go as well. So homegrown won't be an issue. Big up Jay says Gordon and Tonali are not great, so not a big loss. Bruno a big loss, but looks to have a higher ceiling. I feel like I don't want to be that guy, Jay. That feels like a whole lot of copium. Tonali's a very good player. Gordon, whether people think he's as good as 80 million, I don't think he is. I think he's still a good player. Bruno G is a big loss. I don't know who. Let me see if Sean Stur is 18-year-old Netherlands midfielder. So I think you're putting a lot of hope on an 18-year-old brother, I can't lie. Especially when I'm being told we can't put hope on Mbai and Rio. But if he's a good player, then you know, I mean, I said I don't dislike Newcastle. I hope you guys do well. I'd want you guys to finish in the top 6, 7. If it was up to me, I think my mum's a Newcastle fan. My granddad was a Newcastle fan. So, big up Mo says my Premier League predictions: Arsenal, Man United, Man City, Chelsea, Newcastle, Liverpool, Tottenham, and all that. Yo, Mo, whatever you've been smoking, brother, I need some of that because you guys are not finishing top 10. Let me look at let's talk about Newcastle actually because it's really bad how poor their summer's been. So they've lost Gimaresh, Tonali. They've lost Trippier, who, whether you think he's good enough or not, is still leadership. Anthony Gordon. Lascelles was their captain. They've lost a lot of players, and obviously they've brought in Amar Dedic, who's a right back, so that's the Trippier replacement. He's probably an upgrade. I can't say I've seen him play for Benfica. Sean Sturr, Alaji Bamba, who's a good player from what I've seen of him in France. Lucas Hornacek, who played for Prague. He's a goalkeeper. But I mean, you've not improved with the players you've signed, in my opinion. Bazoon Matori, I think, is awful. Like, I think Bazoon Matori is one of the worst players in the league. I hope I'm wrong, because I never want to see a player come in from another league and do bad. But from what I've seen of Bazoon Matori at Hoffenheim at the World Cup, he stinks. He stinks. Ewan João as well was another keeper you guys signed. But I think you guys have it's gotten significantly worse, and you guys finished 13th last season. Now, you could say Yaisu or Yasu, however you say the manager's name, is an improvement on Eddie Howe. We'll see. For me, I'm not going to rate a manager for what he did in the Saudi, personally, but if he does well for you guys, more power to you. Let me read these chats. Show tonight. Depends what show you're talking about. Natasha, would you take Camavinga? Yeah, I would. I'll be happy with Barcola and Bai and Gakpo staying. Josh, what's your thoughts on Gakpo? I'm a bit hit or miss with Gakpo, to be honest. I'd keep, in an ideal world, I'd keep him and get Barcola and then Bai. Being realistic, I know Gakpo's going to go. But actually, I probably would still sell Gakpo. His value is going to be the highest it's ever going to be at, and I don't want a pathway for Rio. I think it's bad enough that he's got to sit behind Barcola, but I'd rather have Rio as second choice left winger than have Rio be a right winger, because Gakpo and Barcola are fighting for positions on the left. Or worse, Rio leaving. Big up Trudon says, Mojo finishing 18th. Fair. Big up Abdul says, I rate Tonali very high. Fair. Liverpool 6th. Yeah, that's prime. Big up A9. Hope you're doing well, brother. Says Newcastle lost Munoz. Yeah, they did lose Munoz. Well, they didn't have him, but we did steal Munoz from them. Should have gone for Tonali. We should have gone for 20 different players. That's true. Yeah, true. Let's take Lewis Miley from them. I don't know if they would sell Lewis Miley. Also, I think he's been quite bad with injuries as well. Big up Abs says Villa going to become Newcastle. Fair. We'll go back on top to Villa. We'll talk about Ollie Watkins. If they lose Ollie Watkins, Villa's striker options then are Tammy Abraham and that Maja guy, the 17-year-old kid they signed. So these striker options are very risky. Obviously, I don't rate Tammy Abraham personally. He's 28, never really done it in any league he's played in. So for me, I think you're probably more likely to see Villa replace him with a striker. But then again, which striker do they go get? There's not many amazing options on the market, especially this late. They got Majo, who's 6'4", built like fucking Zeus. Watched him body the life out of PSG. Scored a goal in the Super Cup as well. Played in Metz last season. He played 2 games, got 2 goals last season. England under-17s player, now plays for Luxembourg. But he's injured. He's already injured. Apparently, he's returning early September. So that's unfortunate for them. So if they sell Ollie Watkins, then they're their 2 striker options. You'd assume that they'd go out and try and find someone new. Big up Trudon says Savinho, Marmoushko and Spurs. Is that confirmed? Because is that like Fabrizio Ornstein? Is that someone? I mean, I assume they probably will, but is there any like actual reports come out that I can bring up on the screen? Big up Akia says, if Ollie Watkins was willing to come on 160k a week, understanding he'd have to fight TK for second place, do you think we should consider getting him? I don't think we should sign a striker to a long-term deal. I'd loan a striker. People might not like the name, but for me, Nicholas Jackson would be a striker I would look to loan. Just for a season. or even till January. Even even there's probably a couple names I could think of. Even like loaning like a player like Sorloth. Yeah, I mean, is it an Ornstein article? Is it? Let me see if I can get that one up. Okay, I'll bring this one up quick then. Cool. Let me get this one for you guys. I'll bring it up on the screen. Cool. Let me get this. We'll talk about this because who really cares about Ollie Watkins? Let's be real. All due respect, Ollie, for watching. Obviously, local Exeter lad. Met him in a co-op because I live down in Exeter. Used to play for Exeter City. All right. David Ornstein has reported people Tottenham Hotspur working on a double deal to sign Savinho and Omar Marmoush from Manchester City. Tottenham aiming to land both 22-year-old Brazil winger plus 27. I didn't even realize Marmoush was 27. Year old forward, Egypt forward as key targets. Strength of attack, not done, but also MCFC advancing. Good moves for Tottenham. Obviously, a report came out today. Tottenham want to use Gakpo as a centre forward. So you assume Savinho would be on the right, Marmoush would be on the left, Gakpo down the middle, and you could rotate Marmoush and Gakpo. It's I don't know how I feel about that attack. I don't think it's a very fluid attack. I don't actually think it's a very good attack. I think Savinho's good on the ball. No, people. I think they want to get all three. I think that's what this means. All the report, we've not heard anything about them avoiding Gakpo. I think this just means they want Marmoush, Savinho, and Gakpo as their front three. Because currently they have no front three apart from Kudus and Richarlison and Solanke, which is a shocking front three. So I wouldn't get too stressed, people. Gakpo will still be going to Spurs if we get Barcola. And I think Barcola was a deal regardless of whether Gakpo stays or goes. So don't worry, people. If Gakpo stays, we might not get him, but we will get Barcola. Don't worry about it. But Savinho, for me, is a player who's very good on the ball, kind of has a nosebleed in front of goal. It's awful in front of goal. Marmoush had an awful World Cup, hasn't been great since he joined City outside of scoring that one wonder goal. Father, I disagree. I think if Gakpo stays, we still get Barcola. I think Mbai is the deal that doesn't get done if we don't sell Gakpo. But I still think we get Barcola because we were going for Barcola before Spurs came in for Gakpo. So I wouldn't worry, people. Barcola will be a Liverpool player with or without Cody Gakpo at the club. Do not worry. How is the Zerbi pulling this off? Owners, innit? Owners are spending money. Wish we said that. PSG are a really sad club. They don't like losing players to a big club like Liverpool. They know Barcola is 120 mil max, and Mbai is a 35 million pound player. They only want to squeeze us. Fair. They have Kuda. They do have Kuda. That's a really good question. Gakpo and Mbai. It's a tough one. How we are at full capacity. Well, Endo's going. Chiesa's going. Chiesa just reported. Just came out. Chiesa's not in training today. No injury, nothing. He's just not in training. So they're looking to sell him. Yeah, no, don't worry, Godfather. We will get Barcola through the door. For fuck's sakes, why can't we sell Chiesa and get him by 40 million? Because Chiesa's not good. Chiesa will leave, people. Chiesa's gone. Chiesa is gone. So don't worry about it. Chiesa will be probably be back in Italy or in Spain, I would reckon. Yeah, Fabrizio's just replied to a tweet saying, always said since end of June, 2 wingers, Savinho and Gakpo, and then 1 striker, Marmoush. So they want to get all 3. Yeah, they're about to offload. Honestly, I promise you we'll be fine for the home ground because obviously Mbai doesn't have to be registered, and we'll sell Chiesa. Even if we keep Endo, we can still make it work if we just get rid of Chiesa. Savinho 80 mil, Mamu 60. Good luck. Savinho won't be 80, so it'll be like 60 for Savinho. It'll probably be 120 for. They'll probably spend 200 total on the front three: Savinho, Marmoush, Gakpo. Look, Tottenham have made some good moves. I think they probably challenge for Europe. I think let's look at all the players Tottenham have signed. They've signed Senesi and Van Heck. They've signed Tonali, Mateus Fernandez, and have signed these three. That makes it 7 players they've signed. Unless I've missed anyone as well. We could check their transfers. Obviously, they've sold Jed Spence. They've signed Van der Ven to a contract extension. Tonali. They've got Dubravka as well. Pedro Porro signed a deal. They've got Robbo as well. Read these chats. Tottenham having both Robbo and Gakpo is going to be so weird. That is going to be weird. That is true. I didn't even think about it like that. I'm worried about the Bradley Barcola deal now. Liam, don't be, man. We'll still get Barcola. Don't worry about it. So we're not replacing is the problem. What do you mean? Because we are replacing Gakpo with Barcola, and then we're still getting buy-in. Or if we keep Gakpo, we get Barcola in. That's still an extra number without losing anyone. So we're going to add 2. At the bare, the worst case scenario is we keep Gakpo and we buy Barcola and we don't get him buy. But if we keep Gakpo, we won't get him buy most likely, and we'll still get Barcola. Barcola will be a Liverpool player come the end of the window, unless the clubs can't agree a deal. But Liverpool will not pull out of the deal because we keep Gakpo. I promise you guys. I promise you guys. And bookmark this. If it's wrong, and we don't get Barcola, and I've got egg on my face, then you guys can come back and crucify me. Bradley Barcola will be a Liverpool player. I'm keeping backup striker till Jan. He won't do that. Spurs aren't stronger than us. I don't want to. Let's not do this, Russell. The attack they have, even if they sign these 3 players, is still not very good. Spurs are trying to do what Chelsea did with Mourinho when their manager basically bought the league. Yeah, except Chelsea bought good players. I'm not saying Spurs haven't. Senesi's a good player. Van Heck's a good player. Tonali and Fernandez are. But the attackers they're buying are not going to win them the league. If we have Areola, if Areola wants 2 new midfielders, I give him Wharton and Chamber Andres and sell Elliott. We're not going to get 40 million for Elliott. Jones 35, Endo for 10, and Chiesa 11. That's 96 million euros from those sales. Yeah. It is. We won't get 40 for Elliott in this market. We'll get less for Elliott than we did for Jones, most likely. If I could force Gakpo to stay, I would. Wharton would be more than 70 as well. Wharton's, you're looking more like 80, 85 for Wharton. Abdul, you brought this up. I had this as my next slide, the last thing I want to talk about. Look at Julian Alvarez taking the picture of the new kit for the season. It just looks depressed. He just doesn't want to be there. He looks unkept. He just looks. I mean, I probably can't talk about people being looking unkept, but he just looks very, very sad. Obviously, we know they blocked the move. Atletico blocked the move to Barca. And I saw Indy Kyler on Twitter putting a tweet out begging Atletico to sell Alvarez. Like, holy glaze, Barca don't know you guys. Yeah, it's sad, isn't it? We're blocking players' transfers. He won't go Arsenal. They won't pay. They won't pay what Atletico would want. It's and I understand from Atletico's position. Griezmann's gone. Ramos is not Ramos. What am I talking about? There's been plenty of players that have gone from Atletico to Madrid and Barca. So I understand why they're now reluctant to want to sell to rival clubs. But I mean, who knows? We'll see. For me, I think if the player's not going to turn up for training because you're keeping him at the club against his will, or he's not going to want to be there, I don't think you should ever keep a player who doesn't want to be at your club, regardless. Maybe they want shit Gokares, 100 mil for Gakpo, but no chance of getting 100 mil for Gakpo. But they want Gokares swap deal. Athletic even want him to leave Arsenal and go. Read the news. What new? What websites are on? Because it's probably from some shitty journal. Most likely is from some dead journal. Yeah. He looks delighted. Yeah, he looks so happy to be there. Yeah. Arsenal's attack is stinky, but they're still favourites of the league. Big up. Alvarez has been average for Atletico Madrid, sort of outscored him for minutes played. Yeah, Alvarez did have a stinky season last year. I agree. Big up in answer to Josh. I think we should take a chance on Rodrigo, who will be back in less than 7 weeks for 50 million euros. If you sign me and buy, first of all, you can't sign a player who's still that far out from injury. He won't pass a medical. Unless you decide to sign him injured, which, I mean, you can do. It's just I wouldn't advise it. But if you signed Mbai and Rodrigo, and you said Mbai could be the stopgap starter, and him and Rio or him and Munoz can rotate until Rodrigo's back and Rodrigo can play on the right. But I think if Rodrigo's leaving Real Madrid, he wants to play on the left. I don't think he's going to want to play on the right for another team. Like, he's a left winger. His trademark position is left wing. They said they're willing to sell him to Arsenal in much less. What source was this, World Champs? Was it a credible journal? Was it like Sky? Was it a newspaper? He's starting to look like Simeone. Everyone looks like Simeone. If you play for Atletico Madrid, you resemble Simeone in some sense, whether it's your attitude or the way you look. Atletico Madrid, stupid, let him go. He's going to play injured the whole season. Yeah, if you get 110 million for him, just sell him. He had an awful season last year. Signing a player who may return in 2 months, yeah. Alvarez played with Haram Football. He's happy to be a bench warmer. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Bill LFC Klopp says, do you see Chiesa going to Crystal Palace? Obviously, I know they're potentially selling Ismail Assar to Galatasaray, so I don't see Chiesa staying in the Prem. I see him going back to Italy. I'm selling Chiesa and Gakpo, Simicas, etc., and getting Skelly on loan, Francolino as a striker, and buy Barcola and a combative fielder. I don't think Arsenal would loan Skelly to us. Francolino, I'm not too familiar with who that is. Have a look. 22-year-old Guinea-Bissau striker, played for Midland. Last season scored 17 league goals in 21 games, got 3 assists. Decent season. Obviously playing in a poor league. 22 years old. I haven't heard of him. Is a little concerning if he was very good, but potentially we'll see. Could be an option. Fake his Haram injuries. Keeping a player that doesn't want to be involved in the team is a red flag. I agree with that. Josh, is true. Atletico Madrid would rather sell Alvarez to Arsenal than any club except Real Madrid. Yeah, no, I've got no doubt they'd rather sell to Arsenal. It's just whether they would sell him at all. Like, they might just be happy for him to sit there for a year, which is stupid if they do. But and they also, Arsenal probably aren't going to pay what they want. I doubt Atletico Madrid would accept Gyökeres and some money for Alvarez. But then again, Gyökeres is the type of striker they'd probably like. So we sell Chiesa, Endo, Simicas, Elliott. Love the dude, but he looks well. Yeah, Elliott looks poor in preseason. Outside of the through ball for Josh Abe, he's looked poor. But people, is there anything else you guys would like to talk about? We've been here for an hour. It's flown by. I've had a lot of fun. As much as I probably sound like I'm depressed, I'm not. I'm just not super high energy today, but I'm all good people. Real or Barca? No, I don't see Alvarez leaving now. I mean, as much as he looks enthralled, go get Lewis Hall, Newcastle, and sell Lewis Hall to us. I don't see Lewis Hall leaving now. He might, but I just don't see it. Backup strikers and left back depth. Yeah, fair. Josh, like Foreman from I look nothing like Foreman from House. First of all, was just wrong skin color, like which, like, I think I look more like I look more like Chase than House. I think I look exactly like Chase. I look more like Chase than Foreman from House. Chase or oh, dude, what's the who's House's best friend when he gets cancer? Apologies if I've just spoiled the show for anyone. What's his name? Ikea, remind me his name, please. That's a hostage. That is a hostage photo. Wilson, that's it, Wilson. Fozzie's about to crash out on his show. I'm gonna make sure I go watch. What time you on later, Josh? I'm not sure if I'm on later tonight, Natasha. I might be live. If there's any breaking news, I'll be back live. But I might be on someone else's channel. I'll see. Just keep an eye out because I'm not too sure. But at the moment, I'm probably not doing anything else tonight. Why do we get an Arsenal player on loan when he's a spin cost City? Like Gahey, he was an Arsenal fan. Oh, personality like Foreman. Okay. Man United still win for Lewis Hall. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. He's a very good left back. Never giddy. I'm giddy sometimes. There's nothing to be giddy about this summer. I promise you, I'll be giddy when Barcola's a Liverpool player. Josh looks like Hornswoggle. Wow. Wow. I do not look like this. That's not me. Who do you think the mystery attacker is? What do you mean? I don't think we have a mystery attacker. I know the two targets we're going for is Barcola and Mbai, but they're not a mystery. But people, please do go check out the Matt One show. He's going live with Dean and Kai, I believe, doing a transfer show, pretty much talking about what we have spoken about here. How many likes are we on, people? Let me check this real quick. So people, if we're on less than 40 likes, I'm going to be very upset with you guys. 36 likes, people. Let's get that to 40 likes before we wrap the show up. 40 likes. People, we need 4 more likes. Big up LFC. First of all, A9, you can go suck yourself, J. Diddy. LFC Klopp says, apparently Anfield agenda, according to the reports, we are linked to a mystery. I'm going to be totally honest with you, bro. If you see that Anfield agenda, don't. It's just another ITK. It's nothing. Don't trust Anfield agenda. Trust the journos. The journos you can trust. Fabrizio Romano, David Ornstein, Fabrice Hawkins. Trust them. If they say something, listen. And even Fabrice Hawkins is a bit hit or miss sometimes, but he's had a good summer. Fabrizio and Ornstein are the ones you listen to. If you want actual reliable stuff. Like if you want something that's 100% concrete, or at least the club's interested, and factually the club or the player's interested or been offered, yeah. Whether what they say happens is a different story, but if they say we're interested in a player, we are interested in that player. Whether we get them is a different question. I'm not negative. If Isak gets injured, the Verts plays a false 9. Nope. Munoz will be false 9. I think he means Man United. True. Big up Neil. Baker says Josh is filming a new series of Trigger Happy TV next month. Cool. Cool. Vol's first 9, false profit. Nah, I don't want to see it. Big up A9 says Josh, when are you going to start paying us for liking the stream? Wow. No, you're not here, A9. We are on. Wow, no one new has liked the video. No one new has liked the video. Wow, people. I hear it. I'll go fuck myself. No, Jordan, of course. But people, we're on 582 subscribers, so we've got 5 subscribers this stream. Big up, everyone. People, make sure you go check out Fozzie TV live now. Make sure you go check out Man Like Matt, the Matt One show. Going live any second, I assume. But big up, everyone. Had a really nice time just chatting. Chilled one, nothing too crazy. Big up everyone in the chat. Big up Kia, big up Christopher, big up A9, big up Neil, big up LFC Clark, big up Abdul, big up Natasha as always, big up MK, big up Russell, big up World Champs, big up, big up, big up, big up Don Mills. If I haven't said your name, big up everyone. Big up Calzino as well. Late entry to the stream. Big up Josh Pre-Tyler this transfer window. Yeah, I hear you, brother. If we get Buck early, I'll play False 9 Feast out. Josh, when you and Matt do, we'll keep an eye out for that people that might be a members video. Obviously, I'm starting the memberships probably. Well, the second I get monetized, I'm starting the memberships. So, I'm going to be doing eFootball content on the memberships. Also, any other content you guys want to see on the members videos, please do let me know as well. I'll put a little post up on community so you guys can let me know what you want to see from members videos. Obviously, I'm never going to ask you guys to join the members videos. That's your prerogative. You do 100% do if you like. Same with super chats. I'm never going to ask you guys for that. But everything is greatly appreciated. People, until next time, have a lovely morning, evening, or afternoon. See you all. And big up everyone. Big up the Dean for the stream or for the redirect as well. But much love everyone in the chat. See you all either later tonight on someone else's show or if there's a bomber, or tomorrow. I'm on Footy Judge Mo's channel tomorrow at 10:30. So make sure you guys check that one out. Catch you all later. Have a good evening. Peace. If it helps, if I click the button. Peace.
The boots go quiet now on the stair to the stand. Sweat on the scarf rails, mud on your hands. We said our piece out loud, let the whistle pass. Now the hard red night turns soft in the glass. No more fight in the room, no more chasing the call. Just the hum in my chest and the weight of it all. The crowd walked home slow through the rain on the lane. I can feel my pulse settle back again. Cop tribunal, we can breathe.